Okay guys, here's what we're up to. Give the bike a bit of a wash now, and I've got her up on the stand. Got her tied down there at the front, sort of virtually hog tied, so she doesn't fall off the stand while I'm doing this work on the bike. Already over on this side, I've already removed one of the factory rear shocks and replaced it now with the YSS twin shock gas suspension. So we've got that shock in position now. It looks very similar to what was on the factory bike. So if you look down here now, here we've got the one I pulled off it, like so. If you look at this particular one there was absolutely no adjustment on the shock whatsoever, just fixed. In the YSS, you can see there it's got notches all around, 5 to 7 I think in total. And I can adjust the spring preload there up any of those. Now the best thing about these little shockers, they only cost roughly $65 for the pair plus freight, which in Australian dollars, once you did the conversion, brought it up to around about $150 landed to get those. So when you look at them side by side, very close, except these ones are gas with the preload. While we're at it, 45 tooth rear sprocket arrived. So there we are there. So that's going to go on the bike too. So we've got everything here going. I've got, like I said, this one here on now. I've already pulled the chain guard off the bike. So the next thing now, the wheel will come off it and pull this 41 rear sprocket off it and put the 45 on. So I'm going from 41 at the back to a 45, and I'm still going to run the 13 tooth front. Okay, here's what we're up to. We've got the left hand YSS shock on, wheels off, and we've got the 45 tooth rear sprocket on. So next up, we're going to undo the sump guard, disconnect the exhaust, so that'll be done. 2 bolts here at the front, this hanger bolt here, top bolt here like that. So the exhaust has to come off before I can get in here and get in there and remove the right shock to replace it. Okay guys, I'm down to this part now where I've just removed the exhaust. So all you have to do is remove the bash plate. After you do that, just undo the 2 bolts there for the header pipe, like so. Then you come midway along. These are the bolts. 1 bolt here which goes in. I actually, from a previous clip, this was a very hard bolt to get out, so after I got down I got a half round file in this section here and sort of half mooned it out there so that next time I come in to get it, it wouldn't be as hard to get out. And I've been into it a couple of times since then and that's worked pretty well. So that's the idea there. On your cover over this one, there's 1 nut on the outside you undo first to release the exhaust, and then inside that one there's this particular, like so here, this one here. So really you can't pull that exhaust off the bike until you get this piece out. So what you do is undo this with your shifter or whatever you're going to do, undo it while the exhaust is hanging, then pull the exhaust out a little bit towards you, then just remove this attachment here or adapter, and then you're ready to go. So this is a fairly simple one now. It's only just that bolt there is missing. Well, I've got it, I mean. Put that washer up there. Down here in the bottom I only have to undo this nut. That rear shock's ready to come off and I can just fit it straight on, and that part's done, and I can put all this other stuff back on. So once again, if you haven't seen the muffler off on one of these, this is what it looks like. It's a fairly miserable skinny looking thing, isn't it? Anyway, we'll get this off while I'm at it. I suppose I better let you know this channel hasn't been getting quite as many books lately, and I think most of the CT125 guys have deserved it, so where I had the better quality camera to do this work. I figured it wasn't worth me trouble keeping it, so I'm back to the, I cached it and got rid of it because it just wasn't worth the trouble for just a few looks. So I'm back to this smaller camera now, and I'll just use it on the channel from now on. So anyway, that's off now, and we'll get this other one back on. So just put the eyelet in up here, down the bottom here. Pushes in well. Washer back in place there. Back down the bottom here. That washer back in place. Nut on. A couple of guys say that they Loctite these shocks back on the bike, but you know, when I had those other shocks on there, and a couple of times I had these shocks off, I give this bike a fair workout in some of those back areas of the local forests around here on a few rides, and some of the rides went for a fairly lengthy period. So I got back on this bike, never had any trouble at all. Like, these shocks are on there pretty tight, but seeing once I know how these are on there and they're working all right and there's no drama with this slot, then I might come back and Loctite them, but at the moment I'll just put them on tight. You'll see here also there's an adjustment here. It says hard, soft, so you get a little bar with these particular shocks, and then you can just swing it left or right, depends if you want it from the softer setting to the hardest. So that's one way. They look fairly neat on there, so I'll just, now once you get up to this part here, this is where you'll bring your, set your back, you bring your exhaust back up, put it in place, and you'll feed this part here, or this adapter, back in onto the exhaust mount, and then swing it over and then screw it on. So that's the plan there after you fit the exhaust in place first. I'll just show you how to do that. So what I did first was I pulled the exhaust in place, put her up into the port there, and hand tightened the bolts there, the 2 bolts in to the head. So we come up to this part here. This is the part we're looking at. So what you do is swing the exhaust out a little bit, so you lift it up, slide it through, bring it back onto the point like so, and then you can hand wind it on, or as far as you can get it before you apply a bit of force to it. So we just tighten it up now. Now it's on the bracket. And that should just about do it. Now if you put this half moon one in, see how easy the socket lines up, and you can come back into it, tighten it up nice and tight. Now I've tightened the 2 nuts here to hold the header pipe on. Sump plate to go back on. Final exhaust nut just here. And that one is all nice and tight now. Rear shocks on. See your adjustments there. Soft over to hard. While I'm at it, I might as well do a quick adjustment. I think I'll take them 2 up from stock and just see what happens there. So if I turn it to my right, that's a softer setting, so it's on the softer setting now. If I swing over and turn it to the left, or rotate to the left, that brings it on. So we go 1, so we'll start again. We're on the softer setting now. We go 1, we go 2. So I'll probably only bring it up 2 to start with and just see what the ride's like on 2. From the softer setting, So we'll swing around this way again. So once again we're locked in on the softer setting. 1, 2. So that's what we'll do on that one. So guys, it's the end of the day in here for what I've fitted the YSS rear shocks. So they're on the back now. Everything's back to normal on the bike. While I was at it, I fitted the 45 tooth rear sprocket to the 13 front. Now that didn't go quite as planned because when I went out to go fitting it, had everything fitted up, and only problem is the chain wouldn't fit. So the chain I did have in stock to do the job, it was no good either, so I had to go down to the shop, buy another chain, and this is a new chain fitted to the bike now. Well, it's not too new because I've just been out testing the bike. Only trouble is I never took my camera with me because I wasn't planning on going out into the scrub and testing it, and I'll probably do that tomorrow on another clip. But that is a new chain, and even though it doesn't look it, it's a newie. But apart from that, the shocks seem to work all right. 45 tooth rear is working okay, and the bike in general is working well. So here's my old chain there after. You can just go with that crap there. Yeah, so that's the old chain there at the cut it off. Back over here, we've got the original 39, the 41 I jumped up to. And like I said, back over on the bike now, the 45. So I actually tested this bike today with these rear shocks and the 45 on a bit of a hill climb, and as you can see, I was in a fair bit of mud. What I plan to do tomorrow is probably throw the camera, charge this camera overnight, head back there tomorrow. I might run the thing through and then let you know how that goes on the next clip. We'll be able to tune in and see how that performs. But that's about it for today. I'll just whip this clip together, put her up, see what you think of it, and catch up to you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in, take a look, catch you later.